it's Aurora Cosplay. I am back making videos. I know it's been a really long time and quite a few have subscribed to me and been asking questions and sending me the stuff you've been making, following my tutorials and on my Facebook page, and it's been really great and I love it, so keep doing that. Thank you so much for all your support. But I'm going to continue making videos now because I've decided to, because I think it's a really good thing. I haven't been really making a lot of stuff with Worbla or like crafting things, which is why I sort of stopped, because I kind of do tutorials as I make stuff, and I've been making stuff that's like not really tutorialable because I have no idea what I'm doing half the time, and I still don't. But anyway, let's try and teach you some stuff that I kind of learned. So in this video I will be showing you how to strap stuff to yourself. I've had a lot of questions of how I did the straps on the Worbla and how things attach to me, and I've done a lot of written explanations, and that's all well and good, but I kind of prefer doing sort of video tutorials because it's a lot easier to link someone and more people can actually see what I'm talking about. So here I've got my thigh piece. Don't know whether, yeah, I think it's the left or the right, I don't know. Left or right thigh piece, because I've only got one of each. Why? Let's start with this. So here I've got these leather straps. These both strap all the way around my thigh, which is pretty self-explanatory and obvious, but the main thing I want to show you, for anything that has gravity that's going to act on it, so anything that hangs off you like on your shoulders, or not shoulders, on your upper arm, sort of on this bit here, anything that's on your thighs, whether it's the side or the back or anything, you're gonna need sort of like a third thing of like a holster system, I guess. I've got a belt that I strap these around, so these are held in place like this so they don't slide down. That was the really annoying thing. When I didn't put these in, they just kept on sliding down and it was just like really irritating. Even if you strap the round thigh bits, well, the bit that goes around the thigh, the language, even if you have those strapped on really tight, it's still going to slide down and it's going to move around and it's going to be really uncomfortable. So having like this kind of hanging so it's secure and it will stay in place, and then these so it doesn't like do all this business, is really handy. Did this on my breastplate as well. So I have these that go on the side of my arms, and this is attached to the top of this shoulder piece, so it can not slide down ever. And then I have two bits that strap around my arm. I kind of followed Camille Cosplay's advice of having two places of strapping on, at least, on the armour, so which is why I have two bits here instead of one. It kind of makes it a bit more secure, and if one fails, you've got the other one supporting you. I know this has three because it's going to fall down, but at least two, so you're like uber sure that it's not going to come off. And on the inside here, I think I have three for this bit, yeah. So my back plate, which goes on like this, has three. So there is, I'm gonna have to stand up for this. So hopefully this is, I don't know, can you see? I don't know. So this bit here, which hooks in through here, and then straps onto the back. So imagine this is facing my back, obviously. And I have another bit up here, and then these two bits do the same around here, and then strap onto the back of it. This was kind of really inconvenient because you kind of have, or whoever's putting on my armour has to squeeze their hand like right inside the armour while I'm wearing it, and it's not very convenient, so it all seals. So this has got three bits, just so if I didn't attach it to these bits, which goes completely around my shoulders, it would just kind of flap out like this. So just think about the shape of what your armour is and where it's going to be on your body to determine where the straps are. Also think about where you're going to strap things to your body. Do you have an undersuit and all that? But that needs to be done in the planning stage. So while you're planning all of this, try and look on your references to see if the art actually has straps on them. Sometimes they do, most of the time they don't. They're just kind of like, yeah, this could attach to a body somehow, but often it's just like, no, it can't. So you're going to have to think about the straps in the planning or while you're making it. So think about the shape of what you're doing and where it's going to be. I know it's kind of hard because there's not like a straight guide of you should put this strap here and this strap here and you'll be golden. There's not that kind of thing. You just kind of have to work it out, which is part of the process, but it's also kind of annoying. It's actually the most annoying part. I hate it. Here is an arm. I think it goes on this one. Can you tell I've not worn this armour in a long time? It probably doesn't. Let's pretend. So it just straps on like this. It's kind of a terrible system, so just don't mind the ugliness because I had to tape it at con. It's not too bad. So it kind of straps on, doesn't move. It's got two, as I was saying before, it's got two strapping areas. I hope you can see that. So what I've got is I've got some D-rings that's attached to some Worbla, so they're nice and flappy, and I've got some leather with some Velcro. You can use whatever you want. I've got another example, which is pretty much the same, but it's covered in fur, so you can't see it, it's useless. But I've actually made, like, taken the time and made some real buckles, which is nice. Really nice. This is when I had loads of time to finish my armour and not like a few days, which you can see. So this is what the technique that I will be showing you. There's gonna be a link down in the description if I can find it. I actually found a picture tutorial on DeviantArt of this. Cannot remember for the life of me who did it, but I will try and find it. I think it's in my bookmarks, and if I can't, I'm really sorry. But if you want like pictures of step-by-steps, that's already been done. Here is the live version. You first need to get some D-rings. D-rings are super easy to find on eBay. Measure out what kind of straps you want, if you want to make it leather, if you want to use some webbing. These are amazing. You can use these on anything, obviously. They're called side release buckles. I never knew the name of it. I had to Google it, so I'm telling you in the video right now. These just like slide in and then loop over, and you can sew them or glue them or whatever. You're going to start off with some D-rings and your Worbla. Sorry that I've only got some scraps here to show you because I'm not doing any Worbla projects, so I don't have a copious amount of Worbla lying around. This is just scraps that I actually found in an envelope of all places. So measure out the size straps that you want. These are 1 inch wide. So they'll tell you I got these off eBay, they'll tell you how basically wide they are, which is the length here. This is like 1 inch, I think, or if I remember correctly. Measure out your straps, match it with your D-ring size, and match it with anything else you want to use. Like, I've got these buckles, which are also 1 inch wide. Yes, because all my leather straps were all 1 inch wide, so just do that all at once, otherwise you're gonna have some problems. Measure out the width. I'm just gonna do it by eye, just for the sake of showing you. If you're being good, you'll just, you know, do it for reals and measure it all out. I'm just doing it by eye. I'm just gonna trim this down so it actually fits for 1 inch-ish, I guess. Yeah, that fits. So make sure it fits all the way across. This is more of a safety thing to make sure that it doesn't snap off, because occasionally if you're using like a thin bit of Worbla, you can use a thicker bit of Worbla, it doesn't matter. It can, if there's a lot of stress on it, then it will snap off. I've had that on my leg bits happen quite a few times, but it's super easy to fix, obviously, because of the nature of Worbla. It will just heat up. Just make sure you don't damage your thing. So a note here, because I'm using it, I recommend you use metal D-rings and not plastic ones. If you use plastic ones and put like hot Worbla on it, a mess can happen. Basically, do as you do. So heat your Worbla. Remember, this is ridiculously hot. So is this. don't touch this, even though I did, but I haven't used this yet. I actually haven't used it in a long time. So regular heat gun, you can get it off Amazon or eBay or anything. They heat up to a ridiculous amount. So the hottest is 550 degrees centigrade. That is really hot. So heat up your Worbla until it's nice, not too flappy, and I've got a tutorial on heating Worbla. Don't heat it till it's white or brown, that's burning it. Just heat it a little bit so it's pliable for this. You don't need to form it all that much, and you'll see, I will show you like flapping it. So this is cold. I'm sorry if I've got it in a weird angle, it's just the power socket is in a different place. So, I mean, this isn't too, it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's pretty floppy and malleable, but it's not super malleable and it will kind of cool down very quickly. So, fold it over, pinch it, fold it over, pinch it together, and pinch it to the end of it. Now the fun part, do a little wiggle, keep wiggling by holding it on the end, and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Keep wiggling until it kind of cools down. If you pinch it close to the end, but not all the way to the end, so you're not pinching it right at the threshold of where the thing is. Wiggle, wiggle, more wiggle. It's kind of cooling down now. Don't go crazy, but it will feel like it's sticking to begin with, and you don't feel like wiggling it, but as it cools down, it will separate from the metal. So, and then just give it a little room to move about, so it's not just stiff like this. And I'll probably show you that again, because I don't think I did that amazingly well. Once again, thread it through, like so. Close it, pinch it together, pinch it all the way, very carefully, don't squeeze it, and then just start wiggling. Wiggle, there we go, and that should be okay. Just make sure you keep holding it at the end. I didn't because I'm silly. No, it's got enough. This isn't wide enough, by the way. If you kind of haven't got it perfect here, no matter, it doesn't really matter. So there it is. It's all nice and wiggly and it's free to move, so you'll be comfortable because it will be able to contour to your body. If you have something coming around here, like a strap, it doesn't stick out and look weird, it just nicely rests. Here's the one I made earlier that's now nice and cool. It does get stuck, obviously, when you do it all the way, but it doesn't need to be completely floppy. So imagine this is my piece of armour. It's beautiful, isn't it? Look at it. On the inside, of course. So the inside will be whatever you have. So if you've just got one sheet, there'll be the shiny side. If you've got two sheets, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to stick this. It will stick to itself. Now here comes the tricky part. You want to heat this and this, but you don't, because this is made of metal, it obviously conducts heat, so it will get super, super hot. So try to just heat this. So I like to hold it from here and then fire the heat gun away from my hand onto the thing that I'm heating. Don't touch the metal bit to yourself and don't get any hot air blowing onto yourself. So it's it's kind of hard to show. So I'm doing this. It's like kind of perpendicular to each other, and I'm gonna quickly heat it and then heat this bit, and then we'll stick them together. I just realised that went a little bit white. It's because I couldn't see it because I was showing you. And now you just go like this, press it down, whatever. So you can also just make sure to heat. So when I was heating this bit, I was never getting the hot air anywhere near my fingers or anywhere near the metal thing. You can also do it on the mat if you make sure you direct the heat here, but that's a little bit harder because it spreads out like this. When you point something down with hot air, it will dissipate all over it, so it does get really hot, and I have burnt myself on some metal doing that. This was the worst choice of mat in the world. Well done, me. I didn't put any foil because I thought it'd be easier to see, and I thought I'd just live with it, just for the sake of instructions. Don't do what I just did. Warning you guys, it's sticky. So even though that looks horrific, because I had to pry it from its cutting mat grave, you have like something to attach a strap to, and if you do it to another side of a thing, then you can make a strapping system, and you can put all this stuff through it, and you can stick or sew these together and then do that kind of thing. A note about sticking plastics together. So this doesn't super glue for shit. And so I used, let me pull up my thing. I use that non-sticky back Velcro, which is completely fine to use. But it does not stick with regular super glue. I think it's because it's a PP or PE plastic. I think it's like polypropylene. No, not polypropylene. Something like that. Chemistry. Super glue doesn't work on this. It just kind of makes it breaks off really easily, or just doesn't. It just kind of moves around and then just goes, I give up. So I've had to use, and anyone else will recommend to me some other kind of plastic glue, but I use this all plastic super glue by Loctite. So a lot of super glues on the back of the packet will say not suitable for PP or PE plastics, and that won't glue a lot of stuff. I think super glue will glue on Worbla, but I still use this stuff for it, and it does the bleh. It sticks. There's two parts. There's an activator, which you have to, it's like a marker, it stinks, don't breathe it in, use it in a well ventilated area. You put it on, you wait for a minute, and then you put the glue on, and it'll turn kind of like a crystal white, and then you stick the two plastic things together, and it'll stick forever. So that's what I've had to do with this stuff. This is the non-sticky back Velcro. There's probably like Gorilla Glue and stuff like that, but I've not really played around with this. This, I've not had to re-glue this at all. It's just stayed on. Maybe because I've been lucky or not, I don't know. It's glued to this, it will just glue everything. So it's like super universal stuff. Universal super glue often isn't actually universal. So that's it. I hope that was useful. I'll probably end like this because I'd have to move the camera again and I can't be bothered. But I hope that has helped you with creating straps. It's pretty easy. If you put this on two sides of Armour, like so, and run whatever straps you want to incorporate into your Armour. This is the super lazy way of just strapping in with some Velcro and some leather on the other side to make it look like it's leather. Yay! But it's really not. Yeah, so you can strap whatever you want. You can do two things and strap them together. Don't forget to put a clip together, obviously. So I hope that was helpful. You can follow me on Twitter at Aurora360. You can like my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Aurora Cosplays with an S because I'm awkward. And subscribe to my channel. Bye!